No, turn left,
Left?
left, hard left. Your right rear's gonna drop in a little hole.
Best meal of the day. How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
Where are we?
We are in Fernandina, Florida.
And we're from Panhandle, Kissimmee, and we're getting ready to start a Jeep trail.
So we have a Jeep channel, FloridaJeepRides.
Yeah, and you're gonna be on it. Breakfast is served. If you're gonna start off the day on a trail ride, especially with over 100 miles of dirt roads to travel. We're going to start off with breakfast at the hotel.
Yeah, Fernandina is a wonderful place to live. It's growing up pretty quick though. I've been here 15 years and wouldn't want to live anywhere else, that's for sure. It's beautiful beaches and the ocean. You gotta like the beach to live here though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Welcome to a Florida Jeep ride. We are in Fernandina Beach and we are getting ready to start the Panhandle Adventure Trail. We're gonna try to accomplish this in 5 days. Lots of off-road, lots of swamp trails and woods. We're gonna be stopping at Osceola Springs. We're gonna be stopping at the Mariana State Caverns. We're going through Blackwater, Apalachicola, Tatel, and in addition to that, we're going through the Osceola National Forest. We'll see you on the trail. Before we go though, I gotta get a tank of gas. Osceola National Forest does not have any gas stations. But I ain't the only one getting gas. So, as soon as you go under Interstate 95, you're gonna be on dirt, because we are on dirt. Shout out and thank you to B-Man 1313 for mapping out these trails. These are mostly what I would call dirt road, stock friendly trails. Of course, weather, rain, which we've had, can change the terrain drastically and turn a dry dirt road into a muddy slop hole. It's slow going. I'm going probably about 25-30 miles an hour. So at that rate, it'll take most of the day probably for us to be able to drive, because we will be doing some stopping. When you first turn off the highway, the sign for Wildwood Road said no outlet. Well, that remains to be seen. We're going to be driving through Osceola National Forest, which is just south of Okefenokee. Okefenokee is a Native American name. Most have translated it to mean the land of shaking earth, the land of quaking earth. It's because the forest, as the leaves drop, it forms peat. And when the waters come in and the waters rise and go down, because there's dry season and wet season, sometimes the layer of peat can float up, causing a floating turf. And over time, vegetation grows on that. And from the vegetation, trees eventually grow, but it's not stable land. It's as if somebody planted a forest on top of a giant waterbed. So when you move on it, it all shakes. Now, Osceola National Forest is directly south of the Okefenokee Swamp. Certain portions of this Panhandle Adventure Trail do go through wildlife management areas. That means during hunting season that some of the gates are going to be open and some of the gates may not during other parts of the season. But being that it is hunting season, that's the time that we try to give a lot of the woods that is designated as a wildlife management area to the hunters.
Safety as a way of life.
In the forest, up in the Panhandle, they do a lot of logging. That was a big logging truck back there. They also maintain a lot of these roads. During certain times of the year, you'll find that the roads are closed. We're coming out to a pavement crossing, and that completes the first portion. If the gate is closed during this, there are plenty of ways around on this trail. So if you hit a place where you see a no trespassing sign, or you hit a place where a bridge is out, a tree's in the road, or a gate's closed, it's easy on Gaia nowadays, or your GPS, to find your way around.
Hey, Steve, how fast can your speedometer say you're going right now?
Where's the donkey?
About 42. Okay. All right, just check it.
Parts of this are on pavement, as you can see. It's not all dirt roads, but when you go through rural areas where there's people's houses, especially some of these back dirt roads, they didn't moved out to the country to get a lot of traffic on it. So this is another area that we found that you just want to drive careful, because they're dogs, not on leashes, they're kids, not used to a lot of traffic. So when you're driving through the rural areas, just take care. That old truck. Welcome to Callahan. If you didn't stay someplace where you had breakfast, there's a McDonald's.
We're in Georgia.
Welcome to Georgia. Part of this trail goes through the state of Georgia. When you go over St. Mary's River, you're going to be in Georgia. So we got a portion of this trail that runs through Georgia as well. We crossed over a road, and it says that the bridge is closed. So what once was a neat little bridge is now pretty much closed. Not going to be able to drive across this. So if you run into places where the trail is closed, you're going to have to make a alteration. Now, I don't know if the concrete is going bad, but some places I can see right through the cracks. it might be the foundations are going bad. The end of it looks like it's going out. Concrete doesn't look too bad, but the structure itself, not so good. Well, with the bridge out, let's find a way around. Reynolds Bridge is out. So what we're gonna do at this point, instead of going down that way where the bridge is definitely out and there's no way around it, is we're just gonna head north a little bit, go up to the next bridge, and then come back around. Around the corner from that forestry tower and heading into Osceola National Forest. So far, so good. Other than the bridge closed, we haven't ran into any major obstructions or obstacles. Pretty two-wheel drive friendly. I've been two-wheel drive most of the day. This is not a trail that's going to take you through multiple obstacles. This is a scenic ride, perfect for Jeeps. This type of area is called pine flatwood. Lots of different species of snakes that are in here, but as big as this is, there's plenty of deer. A lot of animals. As big as this forest is, there's probably bears. But right now we are in the peak of the day, so usually you don't see a whole lot of stuff. What are you gonna see? A lot of pine trees and lots of flies and dirt roads.
Flowers.
Oh, Randy said flowers, not flies.
Flowers.
Stop for the flowers. I sure love her.
to come in. That way they don't.
How you doing?
Doing well, how about yourself?
Good. Sir, the fee to get in, or?
There is not, we're actually closed right now. We've got a water main break that we're trying to fix, so we don't have an ETA on when it's even going to be fixed.
Alrighty. Thank you. Thank you very much. You do a U-turn?
Yeah.
Right.
You might have to go around our law enforcement officer. He's kind of parked in the middle of the road there.
Okay.
No problem. They are closed. They have had a water main leak, and so they wouldn't even be able to accommodate us to get in to look at the water.
Are you just going to record the front?
No,
Let me call her and see. The smell that I smell must be the smell that green has. It is refreshing. It's just what I imagined green.
So what does green smell like to you?
It's pretty.
Let's look. This is the beauty of this trail, is that you can take the time to stop and look. And here, nestled off of the trail, is a beautiful little lake. Look at the water. The water is clear, and it almost looks like you'd want to go for a swim in there. We're continuing outside of Ocean Pond. It was closed. Wasn't able to get in there. They had a water main break, so we couldn't even go down and look at the lake bank. So we're continuing kind of northwestward through Osceola National Forest. There are a lot of roads and trails in Osceola National Forest. Right now, dusty and dry, despite that a hurricane came through. We're not having to use four-wheel drive, but there are so many trails to explore here. I'm sure that you could find water in a lot of them, specifically during rainy season. Most of Florida south of Orlando is pretty flat. If you live in the Orlando area, Citrus is not as flat, and Ocala definitely isn't flat. So there are places in Central Florida where what they call Bone Valley, it's a ridge that runs down the peninsula, and if you're wheeling in those areas, you can find a little bit of changes in elevation. So we're at a four-way junction out here, and I look over and I see this weird structure. Looks like some kind of crazy cage or something. As I get closer, I realize what it is. It's for lost dogs. Now, let me tell you something really quick about hunting dogs. Hunting dogs are bred specifically to run long distances. A lot of them, they don't need the water that you think that they need. They don't need the food that you think that they need. They're hunting dogs, and they are bred to do what they do. Most of them have a GPS collar on, and the hunters can track where they're at. But up here, apparently, if you have a dog that's lost, this is where I guess they would go. Lost dogs. Comment below and let us know if you know more about what this lost dog enclosure is all about. Well, my tire's hanging a little bit over.
You want me to see, look at on the other side?
Well, I really can't see what's going on.
Well, wait, because you're gonna
Hold up.
drop.
I want to see where your right front's at, because there's a big hole over there.
Well, if I can go forward. I just don't know if there's
Don't continue backwards.
Okay, go forward.
Yeah, hold your wheel where it's at, so this back tire will track out of this hole.
Can I make
No, turn left,
left?
left, hard left. 'Cause your right rear is gonna drop in a little hole. Told you.
Watch out for the washout on the right hand side of the road when you go over this where I just went.
Both sides.
Well, we had said earlier in the video that it was dry and dusty. As we progressed westward, we're not hitting dry and dusty. This road has not been fully maintained, and there are places where the culverts have been washed out, so I really don't know what's in there. You can always take a chance and go on through, but what's next? Because if you look further, there's another hole and another hole. We're almost out of the forest. I don't feel like hitting nastiness. Did you have your lockers on?
Yeah.
The trouble with the black water that's in here is that you really can't see how deep it is. So we don't know if there's a washout in the middle of that. I don't know what's beyond it, but we've cleared the first one, so clay's gonna come on through. And you don't want to get in the ditches down here on the side, because those ditches usually are designed to drain water, so they're gonna be deeper. But I see fresh tire tracks coming through here from multiple vehicles. So we probably will be good. And this is not too long ago. That's pretty recent.
We got more of them?
A couple little ones.
Okay.
So So onward we go. And we're gonna see what's next. Ride the same way? Probably. Well, that wasn't too bad. I know that the ditch right through here is pretty deep. It appears, by looking at the cypress trees that are growing through here, that this is just a lower area, a little bit lower. So hopefully we'll be able to push forward without more sketchy water crossings. Not only sketchy, not because we don't want to go on a Panhandle adventure tour, but they're sketchy because our Jeeps have to last 5 more days and then drive all the way home from Alabama. So we're trying to take it easy on this first day. After a really kind of flat trail ride through the first half of the day, now we're getting into a little adventure. That place where I pulled up to take a screenshot, I didn't know that there was a huge hole and washout right on my passenger side, and my back tire would have cleared it, but it had dropped my front end into that washout. So Clay spotted me back and forward till I got a clear shot to get out and off of that hill. Sometimes a cool photo is gonna mean you're gonna have to take a little bit of risk, but we're all good because Clay is an excellent spotter.
And there's an alligator, and he is looking at me. Decision time whether to go through or not. Matthew's checking out the trail to see whether we can try to cut off from this area somewhere else, because Guy is showing a lot of marsh ahead of us. I sure love my Matthew. I'm so glad God put us together. Oh, there's another gator on the log.
This time, the water won. We're gonna have to backtrack a little bit to try to get out. The whole western side is really wet. Wetter than the eastern side. So where the hurricane went on the eastern side, it was fine. This western side, not so much. Now we're having to trudge through these holes again after we tore them up just a little bit, and I'm gonna be the 6th one through if you count that we each did it 2 times. So we will find our way out.
Since we had to turn around, now we're taking 262. We're hoping that this will be cleared all the way through.
There's a fixer-upper.
For sure, a fixer-upper. Look at the gator. This is Lake City.
have survived and made it back to the hotel. This is the end of day 1. Clay's tired. Steve's tired. They don't even want to go out to eat. But we're fixing to go out to eat in Lake City. Well, good morning and welcome to a Florida Jeep Ride. We're in Fernandina Beach, just north of Jacksonville, and we're getting ready to start the Panhandle Adventure Trail. What?
So yes.
Oh, okay. Welcome to a Florida Jeep Ride. Come on.
This is playing.
Oh, I see a rock soar over there. Welcome to a Florida Jeep Ride. We're in Fernandina Beach and we're getting ready to start the Panhandle Adventure Trail. This is a trail that leads from this beach all the way to Alabama. We're gonna try. All right.